At Bianchi Honda, we want to exceed your expectations for customer service. From our gorgeous showroom and accommodating staff to our extraordinary selection of Honda vehicles and industry-leading service department. Your vehicle should be the best choice for you, and you can find it here at Bianchi Honda. I'm Jason Perico, and I promise to always make it worth a visit.
Good evening, everybody. Talking with Brad Rzyczycki, coach of the 3-0 Gannon Golden Knights. Gannon Coaches Show. Coach, welcome.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Congratulations with a great start and a huge win Saturday against a very good Bloomsburg.
Yeah, we've made these first three, or at least the last two games, pretty interesting. And that one on Saturday was exciting. Heart-wrenching, but exciting. And we came out on the good end of it, so we're pretty happy.
Brad, going into the Bloomsburg game, your concerns, what transpired, and then what you saw on film?
I thought, defensively, it's so hard to simulate their offense. I mean, there's no one else in the country that runs their two-back system, the huge, enormous wide splits. And when you're trying to simulate that with a bunch of kids that have never seen it before, it's difficult. I think our kids will be better next year because they know what to expect. But I was concerned just because the simulation part of it wasn't easy in practice. And like what's happened in the past, once those kids settled down and finally figured it out, I think they did all right. And we were also concerned about the quarterback. We thought for what they did and how many people you had to put in the box, that kid could throw the ball, and he had a live arm, which they haven't really had in the past, where he could actually drop back in the pocket and not get into their sprint out or their bootleg stuff. So that gave us a different challenge. But defensively, we knew they were going to be tough. They were a lot like Shippensburg from that standpoint. They were good up front. They're the same. They're just a really good ball club, and that's why they've had 17 straight seasons of winning football. So we had our hands full.
Jack Quinn, well, Gannon's got them right where they want them. But again, I don't want to call it a slow start. You got to give the other team credit. And also resiliency. I mean, that team showed a lot of great things, coming back, hanging on, winning Saturday. That was a tremendous victory.
Yeah, I don't want to give up that first drive either, Jimmy. But I guess there's so many new faces, and when the kids that make the mental mistakes early on are the ones that normally aren't on the field. You don't see Mike Zanders making a ton of mental mistakes and affecting a drive early on because he's seen every offense to this point. He's actually one of the few kids that I think have played against Bloomsburg that's on that field before. But it seems to be our Achilles heel a little bit when we make some mistakes or find out how people are trying to attack us. We end up giving up those 7 points. They converted 3 third downs on that first drive, which obviously we can't have happen. But they did what they did, and I walked the same scenario. Walked over to the sideline and said, all right, are we done with this part of it? So, yeah, Coach, we're settled down. We'll come into our game plan. I don't know if it's the excitement for beginning of the game, and some of these guys have never done it before. But, yeah, it's something we've got to fix. I'd rather not be down 7-0. But, the good part of it is I don't think our kids will panic out if it happens this weekend again.
No, not at all. Here's the other thing. Do you ever, before a game, go, if we're in this position at halftime, I'm going to accept that. That'd be a great thing. Up 3, down 3. Or is the coach in you say, hey, we're always going to be able to score. We're confident. To me, greed's a scary thing. You have a chance. Hey, you're going to be up 17-14 plus the kickoff. That's a great position to be in. You throw an interception. They tie it. Now all of a sudden they're up 24-17. Do you have a philosophy regarding the end of the first half, Coach?
That's a great question, Jimmy. You jump back and forth on this as a head coach.
And it's hindsight now.
Yeah, but I've always favored now to be the more aggressive style of football. And
yeah.
I don't, you get 11 guaranteed games a year, and I don't want to sit back and go, we should have did this at this certain point in time. I'd rather try and live with the results, and hopefully it works out in our favor. But those things happen. I mean, 3-4 years ago, we did it down at Cal. We threw an interception before halftime, and they scored before, and it really changed the course of the game. This one, we did it again. But there are times like East Stroudsburg 2 years ago where we threw a dig route that went 85 yards that we scored a touchdown, and we really buried the game at that point in time at halftime because we were up 35 points. So pick your poison with that. So I'm always going to favor on being the more aggressive style of coach. I mean, like the last play of the game, if we didn't score on that third down, I was going for it on fourth down. So that's just the way I think that my mentality is. That's what we've prepped the kids. We're going to be aggressive, even from a play calling standpoint, and schematically we are. But I think that's more the way we're going to do things.
What was your play going to be on 4th and short?
I don't want to give it away right now, just in case we get put back into that situation. But
Give me a signal. I know. As I thought you would. I mean, you're home, played great, plenty of momentum. Some people told me they thought Phillips was in for the score anyhow. Could you tell on film?
yeah, you really couldn't tell on film. I thought so too, but I'm on the sideline with the worst seat in the house, and it worked out in our way. So there's no reason to cry over spilled milk now. But I thought he got the ball over. We've told him not to do that again, though. Take care of the football. We'll take our chances on 4th down, but don't leave that up to a subjective call by the officials. We'll line up again, get the ball into Tyler's hands, or do our read stuff, or get Marcus Jones in there. But we don't want to put the game in jeopardy by doing something, by reaching the ball over the end zone.
What a great job by Tyler Johnson, because the offensive teams are usually on this side of the end zone to get into the end zone and outfight the other team for that. That's a W.
As soon as they recognize it, Will Davis did a good job of shielding their closest defender to the ball, and Tyler scurried to go get it. And melee happened underneath. I don't know if you saw Tyler after the game. He's got a big scratch on his head here that happened where they're trying to rip his helmet off. They were trying to do whatever they could to get the football, and he gripped that thing and wasn't going to let it go. So it worked out in our favor. But a great thing to happen to a great kid. I mean, he's by far the MVP of that football game. The kid gives constant effort. Yeah, he's been a tremendous leader, and I'm so happy that he was the one that recovered the ball, and that ended up being a great memory for him.
Well, it's been a lot of fun talking to you about the 3-0 start, but in your business, that's a lot like the Alamo. That's history, people. You're looking at a nationally rated, a great team right now on the road. I enjoy going down there and watching this. It's turned into an intense rivalry. Obviously, teams see Gannon, and immediately the intensity level goes up, and that's the way it is at Slippery Rock. You wouldn't want it any other way. Tell us about Slippery Rock, Coach.
Yeah, to date, they're the best team we're going to face. They're ranked in the top 10 for a reason. I mean, they got 13 seniors that start for them, and they have 8 juniors. So we're facing another uphill battle with that part of it from an experience standpoint. Their defense is really good. I mean, it's the best defense we're going to face to this point. They don't give up many rushing yards, and we like to run the football. But I told the kids, they've had 18 straight home wins. That's the longest in the country. They're ranked in every poll in the top 10. They have those 13 seniors. I think if you took 10 people that understood Gannon and Slippery Rock and where we're at from the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, they would pick Slippery Rock to win. So with all that being said, Jimmy, what do we have to lose? The worst thing that could happen to us is we go down to Slippery Rock at 6 o'clock where they're having a whiteout and a packed crowd and lose the game. We should play fearless. I mean, there is no pressure on us from that standpoint. We got nothing to lose in this one. So what I've told the kids, we're going to prepare you as best we possibly can from week to week. I'm not in the prediction business to go and tell you whether or not we're going to win or lose the game. I want them to give out their all-out effort, play fearless football, and live with the results. So for me, from the competitive standpoint, this is why I coach. All the odds are stacked against us in this one. Everyone's going to sit there and say that we shouldn't go down there and compete and win a football game. But this is why I like to do what I do. So we're going to go out there, give our best effort, and just live with the results at the end. But we got nothing to lose in this one, Jimmy.
This kind of epitomizes your whole preseason and everything. You don't know what to expect, but you're really enjoying the situation.
I talked to the kids about this last week on Friday night. I said, there's a lot of times we get consumed because of society with the wins and losses. I said, enjoy the journey. This is a close-knit group I have with a ton of leadership on it. They hang out with each other. They're such good kids that they're really enjoying the journey part of this season, and they have to continue to do that. I didn't think if the ball would have bounced a different way against Bloomsburg, I would have still gotten the effort and the same type of mentality going down to Slippery Rock coming on Saturday. That's the type of group I got, and I think they enjoy having all the odds stacked up against them and no one expecting us to win any ball games. But like I said, there's no pressure on us in this one. We're going to go play our tails off and see what happens in the end.
Just to show, well, obviously, the kind of talent in the PSAC West. I was watching Monday Night Football. One of the teams started an offensive lineman from Slippery Rock. I don't know if it was Minnesota or the Bears.
Yeah, it was Minnesota.
Where they had, before the game, so-and-so from Slippery Rock. I thought, all right, go ahead. I'll be seeing them Saturday. So defensively, is that their strength, do you think?
Oh yeah, they're with those 8 starters, even the 3 juniors that start defensively, you know, they have 3 or 4 preseason All-Americans, and one of them's their defensive end that's a junior down there. He's given us fits for the last 2 years. He's a really good one, but they have a corner that I think's a junior that's really good. So they're stacked over there. Their defensive line's back. They're well experienced. They got to transfer in to playing linebacker for them that's really good. So yeah, they've stopped a lot of people. They held Lock Haven to 4 yards running the ball. They really haven't let anyone run the football on them from that standpoint. So we're going to have our work cut out for them. They got a transfer quarterback on offense. They got a ton of experience. Obviously, they have a tailback that's a preseason All-American that we have got to somehow find a way to slow down. But yeah, they're stacked with talent.
All right. What are you going to see from them offensively?
Yeah, they're single back. I mean, they're a lot like we are offensively. I mean, they got a big quarterback, a transfer in from Sam Houston State, who's figuring out and, you know, is throwing the ball for 400 and some odd yards last week against Lock Haven. So he's figuring their offense out. But it starts and finishes with their tailback, Shamar. He's a really good one. We've seen him for the last 3 years. I'll be happy when the kid graduates, but we have our hands full being able to stop him. And they're a big physical offensive line, probably the best that we've faced to this point. They have some receivers, I think, that are playing really well. Their slot number 5 is you know, on film has done some really good things. So we have got to find a way to control him, to not let him get loose in our secondary. So we have our hands full with their offense as well as their defense.
6 o'clock game, bother you either way? Look forward to it. Many changes.
No, you know, yeah. The thing with me, Jimmy, is I like getting these games over earlier. That's why we have all our home games at noon. I hate waiting around all day, but it is what it is. So the atmosphere is going to be really, really nice because we've played down during this week at Slippery Rock, and they packed the house there. They're having a whiteout, which is cool. Our kids are going to play in a great atmosphere on Saturday.
Too.
Yeah, Don Henry's going to get inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Excellent. Health-wise, going in.
We're good right now. Knock on wood with that standpoint, but we are healthy, and you know, I think it's the way we've conditioned our kids in our strength conditioning program.
Brad Rzyczycki, best luck. Be talking to you next week, and I will see you Saturday.
I appreciate it, but I do have to say one more thing, Jimmy. Today, September 22nd, is my daughter's birthday, Yara.
Nice.
So I'm going to make sure I get up there and eat lunch with her at St. Luke's today. So happy birthday, Yara.
That's right. That's my children's alma mater, too. Great
Good.
school. Brad Rzyczycki. All right, everybody, back to the Blitz.